Hey there! Today I want to talk about how to define your dream job and then how to get it. And how am I going to do that in all one video? Well, I'm going to give you some quick tips. I'm not going to tell you all of the secrets, of course, but I will give you some things to think about today. So I'm Tammy Kabell, founder and CEO of Career Resume Consulting, and when we talk about getting your dream job, first you have to understand I've been in the career field for 15 years, and really what we've been doing as an executive career firm is helping people find that perfect position that will pay them what they're worth, that they are excited to go to work to every morning. Okay? So that's what I want for you, and I want to give you just first a couple of ideas on how to determine what's going to be a great job for you. First, if you don't have any idea what you want to do, what you want to start by doing is writing down, take some time to where you're not distracted, turn off your phone, turn off the computer and everything. Sit down with a piece of paper and start writing down the behaviors and the activities that you've done on a daily basis in jobs in the past that you've really enjoyed. So what have you really enjoyed most? What behaviors have you done? What activities have you done that really is your sweet spot, that you enjoy the most about whatever you've done in the past? Now, most likely those sweet spot activities are in a job somewhere, and they are what a main job is about. In other words, those activities those comprise a position out there, and you can find that position. Of course, you can go to the job boards. Now, I don't suggest going to the job boards to find your next job if you're an executive, because it's not going to be out on the job boards. But what you can do is look at the job boards to find job descriptors that talk about the types of positions that you would love to work in, and then of course look at several levels above so that you are paid what you're worth and you are challenged in your everyday activities. If you have any questions about that, always feel free to talk with one of my coaches. You can contact us at our new hotline email address, which is askme@crcadvice.com. Again, that's askme@crcadvice.com. And something else that you need to know is that actually your mood at work, in other words, how much you like your job, equates to life satisfaction. There have been a lot of studies to show that really how well you like your job really affects how well you enjoy your life in general. So the main thing that they have found in these studies is that how well you like your job, it does in a way depend on those day-to-day activities that I talked about, but more than that, actually, it's the culture of the company. Does it match your values and culture? And so you're not going to know if a company matches your values and culture unless you actually talk with people within that company. And I know that sounds a little far-fetched. You're thinking, well, if I do a lot of research on the front end before I even go after a job at this company, I'll be able to tell what kind of culture they have, and then I'll know whether to apply. That's not the way to go about it, because you don't know whether what they have on their website is equating to what their real culture is. That may be their culture on paper or on a website, but not their culture in real life. Okay? So you're not ever going to know if you fit in with that company until you talk with the person that would be your boss and the people that would be your peers that you would be working with in that company. All right? So apply to many companies. I would say define what really you enjoy and you do best, and how you you've probably heard this before from me, how you affect the bottom line of the companies you've worked for in the past, and then how you can broadcast that out to everyone, as many companies as possible, and you're not going to know if they want you unless they call you. And then you have a conversation with them, and then you start to talk about values and culture, and they are actually not going to talk about values and culture until the face-to-face interview, most likely. Okay? So that's something to consider. You're not going to know from a job posting, you're not going to know from anything that's posted on a website, and you may not even know from people that you talk to that have worked there, because you don't know until you go into the certain section of the company that you would be working for, whether that section of the company has the values and culture that you're looking for and that would really mesh with your lifestyle. All right, so that's there's a couple of tips on how to find a good fit for you as your next job. Now, as far as a few tips on how to get that, of course, if you can get people that know the hiring manager, of course, if you know people that can introduce you to people within the company, that is going to increase your trust factor to them. In other words, they're going to trust you more, and people hire people that they know and they trust and they like over people that are even more qualified. So you really want to increase your trust factor as much as possible. Something else that you can do is research the person as much as you research the company and the prospective job. So in researching the person, you can look on Google about 5 or 6 pages back. I would recommend using Google Chrome. I've found that you get different results using the Google Chrome browser versus using Internet Explorer, Firefox, Safari, and doing google.com on those browsers. If you use Google Chrome browser, you get better responses. You just get more responses. So look 5 or 6 pages back. Also look on YouTube and see if there are any videos featuring that person, and then check on Google Images under that person's name. So put the person's name and the city and state that they live in, and then check Google Images, because you might find that they have images that have been tagged in Google Photos, and Google tags photos all the time, whether it's on Facebook or Instagram or somewhere else. But what you might find is what that person likes to do in their spare time. In other words, do they like horseback riding? Do you see them on water skis? Do you see them hiking up a mountain? Do you see them traveling to far off lands and eating a lot of wonderful foods? So what is it that really they enjoy? And that way you can build some commonality in an interview with them, and that's going to go a long way toward an interview. Okay? Something else too, you want to match your skills and experience with gaps or pain points that you see in the company. And one of the ways that you can find those gaps or pain points is to read the company blog. Oftentimes these days there will be a company blog that will give you updates, whether it be on the company website or even on Twitter. Use Twitter as a research, almost like a database, where you're looking up the company. You can do hashtag and the company name, or @ and the company name, to see if you can find the company's Twitter page, and you can see what they're tweeting, and you can get a good idea of possibly what their gaps are that they're trying to fill. In other words, what kind of pain points could you solve that no one else could solve? So what is your value proposition to the company that would be unique in a way that would get you the job? And you can use that through, like I said, looking at their blog or looking at their Twitter or even their Facebook posts to see if there's any kind of pain points or gaps that you could fill specifically. And when you go into an interview, I want you to begin and end the interview with a handshake, okay? And do that even if it's a panel interview, and that may be really laborious, and you may be thinking, there's 7 people in this room, do I have to shake every single one of their hands? Yes, and look them in the eye when you're doing it as well. And if you can remember all of their names, call them out by name. Thank you so much, Tina. It's really great to talk with you today. Something like that. Also, do that with the receptionist, the administrative assistant, the person that brings you into the interview. Treat them with as much respect as you do the interviewer, because you never know how much political power that receptionist or executive assistant has with that executive that's interviewing you. A lot of times, about 2/3 of the time, I believe, they say that executives ask their secretaries or administrative executive assistants to weigh in on a hiring decision. So that's really important. Also, one last thing, and this is about nonverbal communication. Make sure that during the interview you are aligning yourself with them, especially your shoulders, so that your shoulders are aligned with their shoulders. Now, that also means that if they swivel their chair over to the right, that in a couple of seconds you just swivel your chair over to the right as well. All right? So that is a mimicking behavior that actually increases the unconscious connection that you build with an interviewer. So any kind of behavior that you can mimic with someone, whether it be touching the hair or touching their face or using their pen or swiveling in their chair or leaning forward or leaning backward in their chair, doing that after they do it, it actually builds some rapport that they don't even know is happening, and salespeople do it automatically and they don't really realize that they're doing it, and this is something that can help you win that rapport. And again, people hire people that they like and they trust over people that are more qualified 100% of the time. So I hope this has helped you, and I am again Tammy Kabell with Career Resume Consulting. If you ever need any kind of advice or assistance, please feel free to reach out to one of my coaches or myself. You can again contact us through that askme@crcadvice.com email address, or you can call our offices at 816-600-2478. If you're outside of the country, we do have a UK and EU division that is located in the UK, and the head of that UK division, his name is Philip Brown, and we can get you in contact with him. Just send an email to that askme@crcadvice, and we can get you in contact with Philip, and he can talk with you about our services. So we do work all over the world. As long as you speak English, we can help you. Okay, I hope this has served you today. I would love to hear your comments below, please. And if you liked the information today, give it a thumbs up if you think it helped you. And if you think that this could help somebody else, share it with a friend. And if you haven't subscribed and you'd like to get more information from me on usually a weekly basis or every other week at least, then subscribe, and I promise I don't spam you. I just send out good content as often as I possibly can. Thanks, and have a wonderful week. Bye now.